Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about the AMC bullishness, the 15X projection, how the OBV continues to climb, and many more in this video. Now take a look at this. Highest weekend revenue in its 106-year history from AMC. We're seeing Cinemark at all-time high, IMAX at all-time high, but AMC is turning red because record-breaking business is obviously bearish now. So this is something that we are obviously seeing on AMC, where despite what we saw on the Monday where we had record-breaking, we were only up 1.06% as you see the price being sold off. We were then down 6% on the next day, and today we're down another 0.37%. So pretty much 3 days of selling on constant AMC, despite the fact that during the weekend we saw another record being broken, and the last time we saw how records were broken, we saw one of the best Q2 ever reports on AMC, if not the best report. And so this is something that obviously doesn't make sense. And for the people who are worried, you need to understand the situation that we are in. Nothing is going wrong for AMC. There has been no bad news, and this is what we talked about with the manipulation and suppression. Because when you take a look at some of the facts here for AMC, we are generating 20% more revenue with 40% fewer movie releases. There's a 100% improvement in operating efficiency. In 2019, AMC traded at roughly 30x today's price. So what we have to understand right now is nothing bad is happening for AMC as of short term, nothing bad is happening to AMC as of long term. We are only seeing bullish news, we are only seeing good news on AMC. The price action that we're looking at AMC right now clearly does not reflect that. And it's not a matter of people are worried, people are selling. Like we've said, and like I'm going to emphasize, no bad news as of recently has happened to AMC. We haven't heard anything yet it's being sold off because they realize where AMC is going to go now. Remember, AMC has improved this much, and this is talking about how the box office is still continuously getting bigger. We are still seeing more and more movies that are going to be released that are expected to do extremely good numbers. Remember, the movie that we talked about in terms of the next big potential is Avengers Doomsday. And this is something that I've said where maybe a film would come in between now and Avengers Doomsday where it will take the title again, but definitely going into Q4, we are going to be seeing another record-breaking movie, meaning another record-breaking for AMC. And all of that is going to in turn generate more revenue, generate more profit, and allow AMC to grow even bigger. And this is where we have to understand with the potential of AMC. Even as of right now, if August keeps delivering, Q3 2026 could be the biggest Q3 in AMC's history. So not only have we just seen what happened in Q2, we are very likely going to be seeing the same happening in Q3. And something that I've said before, and I'm still going to say it now, it wouldn't surprise me to see another piece of article, to see another piece of news where AMC has said that they've broken the record again. And this is something I want to say that even before Avengers Doomsday, that we're very likely going to be seeing this message. And just like how we performed in Q2, and one of the biggest reasons for why we focused on Q2 wasn't just because how well we did in Q2, but what we will implement going into the future. And everything that we've done in Q2, we're going to do the same in Q3, but better and bigger. So if we see the biggest Q3 in AMC's history and we see how well the box office is doing, you can understand why the Q3 earnings will be even better than what we saw for Q2. And a lot of things that we're really looking at right now is the fundamentals, but ultimately fundamental is what's allowing us to really grow. It's what's allowing us to understand just how much value there is for AMC. And remember, as soon as AMC goes into the free cash flow, as soon as AMC has the ability to fully pay off debt, we're going to be seeing buybacks, we're going to be seeing dividends, and that would then be another massive pivotal moment for AMC, and that's what the shorts are worried about. And what we are seeing right now is the past few days in terms of the truth for AMC, for the people who denied claims that there is no suppression on AMC price, because fundamentally AMC is in a better position today than in the previous 6 years. There's absolutely no truth to the belief that theaters are dead and consumers are finding better value in streaming platforms any longer. And And this is already, before we even go further, this is something that we're already seeing right now. They said that no one's going to go to the movies. Clearly that's been wrong. AMC has proven that wrong. Otherwise, we wouldn't see record attendance, we wouldn't see record revenue, nor would we see movies making record box office again. Secondly, we have to understand is that what we are actually seeing is how streaming services are actually seeing a decline in their viewership. We're seeing how even their shares are actually being sold off when you take a look at the inflow outflow. So what they said about theaters has not actually come true, but it's actually then being applied to streaming services. And thirdly, or something else that I think is very important, is the fact that these streaming services are now coming to AMC to try and obviously partner up. And so we have to understand we are in a better position than ever. So consensus overall sees AMC undervalued, and yet the stock can barely move up on heavy bullish volume. Now, this is obviously the main point where everyone is expecting AMC to do well. Wherever you're looking at the media articles that used to talk about bad about AMC, you're seeing how they are forced now to actually change their narrative because they know they just can't talk about bankruptcy anymore. They can't talk about how AMC is not growing because physically we've shown them how well we are growing. We're seeing how institutions all believe in the value of AMC and therefore buying as much as they can. And so everything right now is leading towards the indication that people want AMC, people are buying AMC, and that AMC is undervalued. And yet, despite all of these heavy bullish volume, we're not moving up. And that itself is just showing kind of the suppression and manipulation that's going on. Because if you take a look at this, and I think this is very, very important, you can see for IMAX, and bear in mind, we've seen AMC drop great news as well. We are seeing how the box office is also benefiting AMC, but IMAX up 5.87%, Cinemark up 3.84%. And then you get AMC, which was up 0.35%. So during the time where IMAX and Cinemark were up close to 6%, close to 4%, AMC only went up 0.35%. You would think that AMC didn't do as well as them. You would think that AMC didn't break records. You would think that no one's going to AMC right now. But nothing can be further apart from that. What we are seeing is how AMC is doing the same, if not better. AMC is seeing record revenue, record attendance. And again, it looks like I'm repeating this, but that's because that's just how important it is. It doesn't make sense for the same companies within the same industry to see the same growth, yet they get to go up 6%, and the one who are doing even better and has the most market share is only going up 0.35. And bear in mind, for the last 2 days, we've been down 6% and 0.37%. So this is obviously ridiculous. And when you take a look at what the projections are, you can even see what AI is projecting for AMC is a 15X projection, where what we're seeing right now is for the 12-month forecast. Now, bear in mind, this is with kind of the bare minimum that they can do. But even the bare minimum, look at their projection, the lowest that they are giving is 6.87. So still far above where we currently are now. Then they give the average consensus, which is up 10x at 32.25, and then their high price target, it's at 57, what we are seeing right now, which would be a 15x projection. This is what AI is doing, and bear in mind, they're not accounting for anything else right now. They're just accounting purely based on the fact of what AMC is doing currently, what AMC will do in the future, and how the industry is growing. And with that, we're seeing at a very, very low 2x, at an average of a 10x and a high of a 15x. Because what we have to understand is that even at this low price target of 687, when AMC actually does go to that level, the amount of shorts that are going to be scrambling to try and cover, that would then obviously push the price up even higher. Now the same would then apply for 32, the same would apply for 57. And this is why I said this is not accounting for anything else apart from purely the fact of how AMC is performing and what its future forecast would be. And so with that, we have to understand they and everyone knows how undervalued AMC is. And even with here, what we are seeing from Fintel right now, you can see where they're increasing AMC's price target. Now, this is from institutions where And to me, it's going to be more of a biased opinion. The reason why I say this is because AI's projection is purely based off of the data that they can find and with the calculations that they're doing to then give the price target. But with companies like this, what we are seeing is how, firstly, it's already a big change in terms of their viewpoint on AMC, because we've seen in the past how they had to talk bad about AMC constantly, despite what AMC was doing. And just like I said earlier, right now, they can't talk bad about AMC. They can try, but they know they can't just make up random facts about AMC and think that people will believe. Because firstly, 8 have done the due diligence. We understand everything that's going on. But secondly, it's because AMC has shown just how well it's doing. But you can even see they've increased the price target by 32.44% to 289. Now, this is still the same thing, where this is an indication that they can't do anything else now but admit that AMC is doing well, that AMC should be deserved higher. But what they can do is to obviously lower on these price targets to create this incentive that AMC is overvalued at these points, that yes, AMC should go up. Yes, there's value in AMC. Yes, AMC is doing well, but we don't think AMC should go up this high. And so when it goes to that price, you used to sell. And that's what they're trying to do. We apes have known by now the amount of psychological warfare that goes on behind the scenes for these institutions and what they're trying to release to the retail. And this is what we're seeing. But I do think it's a big change that they can't help but forced to admit that AMC is doing well and going up. And one of the biggest things that you have to understand in terms of what it is, because you can see how what I'm saying, what anyone else is saying, you know, what the media articles are saying. Again, everyone will have biased opinions. Everyone will have a understanding behind it, a context behind it. But the one thing that really separates it, that really allows us to understand why we think AMC and understand AMC is undervalued, is the fact that institutions are buying. Despite all of these media articles, despite what everyone's trying to say in terms of the negatives on AMC about how you should sell, how you should never buy AMC, institutions are buying. You can see here 93 million bought, 15 million sold. And this is what we talked about, how the net is that there is more buys than sell, and by a lot. And if you take a look at some of the other images as well, 18 million, what we're seeing here, 655K, what we're seeing here. And this is what we're seeing. Institutions are accumulating. There has never been once where there's been more sold than more bought. So this is how we know that all of these media articles, they're here to try and throw you off. They have to buy AMC. They have to then tell you to not buy AMC because they don't want the price to go up further, because they can't afford to do this. And this is how we know that we are extremely undervalued. And so imagine spending the last 5 years trying to bankrupt AMC by manipulating price discovery, negating any meaningful capital raise, hit pieces after hit pieces, just for the apes to hang on. And this is exactly what we have done. This is the power that we have shown to everyone. This is how we know that the shorts are afraid, because they know if we can hold on for the last 5 years and AMC wasn't doing as well as now, imagine how much we can do when AMC is showing just how well they're going to do and going into the future. You can see this from the OBV as well, where the price continues to climb, where despite that though, the price is remaining stagnant. Now, this is what we have to understand, is that institutions are buying, retail are buying. There is more buys than there are sells, and this is something I've shown you already. You can take a look at this on your brokers as well. Now, the reason why the prices are moving, it's because of the suppression. And just like what we talked about here earlier, there is so many obvious proof to how we know that there is suppression on AMC. And this is just one of the many that we have shown to you this video and in the past videos as well. But from here exactly, we have to understand that right now, there's a big reason for why they are afraid of AMC. There's a big reason why everyone wants to buy AMC, because the projection is just going so much higher. And recently, as we're seeing how certain funds are blown up, we saw situational awareness blown up, but we saw how that affected other funds as well. It's very likely that there are so many other institutions out there, predominantly AMC short sellers, to have been caught up in this mess. And that's why they can't afford for AMC to go above $3, because they've realized that they can't take any more losses. And that's why we've been seeing the suppression and manipulation really increase on AMC recently, because they've realized that this is about to be the time where AMC is about to do something that they weren't expecting in the past before, and AMC is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. As always, don't have financial advice, and I'll catch you guys next time.